Hello and welcome to the tutorial. On this tutorial we'll be discussing risk management, we'll be discussing the risk reward ratio, and we'll also be discussing the difference between a pip and a point. So at the moment we're on our FX broker platform. So we're going to open up our FX Choice MT4 platform to place a trade and show some risk management and risk rewards. So on your MT4 platform, go to Tools and place a new order. And our default setting here is the DE30 cash. That's the DAX index. Now we can click down and we can choose whatever other security or forex pair we like. It's all here for us, but just as a default we chose the DAX 30 cash for educational purposes. So we click back up and we have our DAX 30 index. Now the first thing I want to show you is the volume. Okay, so on your FX Choice broker account, be very careful here with the volume. 0.01. This represents a 25-cent move. So when the market moves 1 point, if the DAX moves 1 point from 11610 to 11611, that is a 25-cent move. Okay? If we change that to 0.1, okay, and the DAX moves 1 point from 11612 to 11613, that is a 250 move. So that's 250. So beware of the difference here. And it's very important here. If you're trading one, this is a 25 euro move. So from 116 to 112 to 113, that is 25 euro for point. So I'm going to repeat that because it's a very important point. 0.01. If the market moves 1 point, that is a 25-cent cash move. Okay. If you're trading 0.1 and the market moves 1 point, you're trading 250 per point. So that's €2.50 per point. Now be very careful if you're trading one, because one is not €1. This one here represents 25 euros on your FX Choice broker. So a 1 point move here will be 25 euro in cash move. Okay, so just be aware of what you're trading from a risk management point of view. So a 0.1 move, again, this will give us a 250 lot move. Okay, so when the market moves 1 point, that will give us a 250 point move. Okay, in cash. So a point in equities is the smallest move in the equity pair. Okay, so when the market moves 11609 to 11610, that is a 1 point move. And when you're trading forex, we'll call it a pip. So a pip is a currency move measured. It's the smallest value change in a currency pair exchange rate. Okay, so a currency move is measured in a pip, and again, it is the smallest value change in a currency pair exchange rate. So that's the difference between a point and a pip. So in equities, we call them points, and in forex, we'll call it a pip. So today, we're dealing with the risk management of just to be aware on your broker account what you're trading, because different brokers will have different values. So be fully aware of the amount you have set and the amount you are looking to trade. Okay, so on this trade, we have a position here on the DAX at 11611. So if we were looking to trade this from a risk reward point of view, if we were buying this market, we'll set our stop 10 points below the market value. Okay, so we'll set the stop at 1602 and we'll set our value here 10 points above the market. At the moment it's 11615. Now this here is our risk reward ratio. Okay, so we set it at 11625. So here we have a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. So we're risking 10 points to gain 10 points. So our take profit point here is 11625. Now the market's moving a little bit here, so we're just we're 1 point off. But basically our risk reward ratio, we're risking 1 to gain 1. So we're risking 10 points in the market to try and get profit of 10 points. That's a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. Now we can leave our stop here at 10 points, and if we're looking for a 1-to-2 risk reward ratio, we'll move this up to 11635. 11635. So now we've left our stop as it is, so we're risking roughly 10 points. Again, the market is moving here, so we'll move it up there to 11604. So we're now risking 10 points to try and get a profit of 20 points. So we're risking 1 and our reward is 2. So risk reward, risking 10 points to try and gain 20 points. So a 1-to-2 risk reward ratio. If we're looking for a 1-to-3 risk reward ratio, we're going to change it here to 11645. So we're risking 10 points to try and gain 30 points. So our maximum risk here is 10 points, and we're looking to profit for 30 points. So our trade plan dictates that we have a 1-to-3 risk reward ratio. Now your stop here is your maximum loss. Okay, so if the market hits 11604, we're taken out of the market. Now this is if we were buying the market, if we were going along the markets. So we're risking our 10 points to try and gain 30 points. So a risk reward ratio of 1-to-3, and so on and so forth. So again, just to repeat there, we're trading the DAX 30, and it's a DAX index, and our value here, which is very important from a risk management point of view, this is the number one thing you want to make sure you have on your trade plan. That was your 0.1 on your FX choice broker. This is a 250 euro move. Okay, so 1 point is 2.5, 250 euro move, and make sure that you realize that a 1 move here, this represents 25 euros. So for every point that the market moves here, 11609 to 11610, that would be 25 euros. So just be fully aware of the amounts that you are trading. And again, 0.01, that's 25 cents. So you have a broad scope to trade from as little as 25 cents up to your 25 and even more. Okay, you can trade all the way up there. So just be aware that 0.01 is 25 cents. Okay, 0.1, that is 250, so €2.50, and 1 is 25 euros. So just be fully aware of what you're trading. You do not want to put a price on €1 and you think that's €1. It's not, it's 25 euros. So make sure you're not in a trade. You think you're trading €1 with a 10-point stop, and all of a sudden you're down 250 euros when you only think you're down 25 euros. So from a risk management point of view, be fully aware of what you're doing here. And this is why it can be important for a beginner trader to open a demo account and just practice opening and closing your trades, and to be fully aware of the amounts that you're putting to risk. Okay, so we have our risk reward ratio, we have our risk defined before we open our trade, we have the equity that we're looking to trade, and here we have our live price. We have our bid and we have our ask, and the difference here is the spread, and that's where the broker will make his money. So it's the bid price and the ask price, and down here you're either going to be buying or selling the market. So again, in equities we're looking at points, and in forex we're looking at pips. But I can't stress enough the importance of getting your volume right here. Okay, so just be fully aware of the amounts you are trading before you start, because you do not want to be looking to trade at €2.50s and all of a sudden you're in a €25 per point trade. Okay, maybe you do want to trade €25 per point, and that's okay if your account size can handle that kind of volume. But just be aware, especially when you're beginning trading, to have your risk defined and know exactly what you're trading there. So remember, 0.1 is for €2.50. 0.01 again is for 25 cents, and €1 there is for $25 and or 25 euros. So I'll show you what I mean. We'll buy this market here just to show you. So we're going to buy the market. So we're going to buy the DAX. Our volume here, this is 25 euros. So just to be sure, it's 25 euros. Our stop loss is set at, we'll give it a bit more here. Our stop loss here will be 11600, and our take profit, we can bring it back to So our 1 to 3 risk reward ratio, and we can buy that market. Okay, so as we can see down below here on our trade plan, that is 25 euros per point. Now, if you had entered that market and you were looking to trade 250 per point and you've opened a live trade and now you see you're down 54 euros all of a sudden. Okay, so just be aware of the amounts that you're looking to trade. So when you have your trade opened, you can go down here and it has your dealing ticket, the time and the date, what you did. So you bought the DAX. The size was 1, but do not be aware that 1 is 20. I know I keep repeating myself, but be aware that the 1 is 25 euros and the DAX 30 is the market, and you entered at 11614. Your stop loss is at 11600 and your take profit is at 11634. So we have a risk reward ratio of 1 to 3. We have our risk defined at €1, so or it's 25 euros in this trade, and our maximum loss here will be 14 points. Okay, our stop loss is set at 11600, and here we were back into profit. So again, if you are comfortable to trade a 25 euro account, that's up to yourself. So, but just be fully aware of the amounts that you are trading, and to keep yourself on the correct side of the market. So to exit that trade, we can just press close and we're out of that trade and the trade is closed. Okay, and that is your buying and selling. So this was just a short tutorial on risk reward and risk management, and defining a risk before any trade is one of the most important things a trader can do to have longevity in the market and to be on the right side of the market and have consistent gains. Okay, so thank you very much for taking the time to listen, and I will speak to you on further tutorials in the future. Goodbye.